Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Macon podcast. I am Seun Okinbaloye. How is Nigeria treating you today? For many Nigerians, the answer depends on who you are asking. One thing I know for sure is food inflation remains a heavy burden on households. Food prices rose again in June, driven by increases in staples such as fresh pepper, tomatoes, crayfish, beef, gari, yam, and many of the everyday items that end up on your tables. Insecurity also remains a major concern. While the victims of the recent abductions in your state have thankfully returned home, the broader challenge of security across the country is far from over. Well, there are those who argue that the economic reforms of President Bola Tinubu are beginning to yield result. Nigeria's headline inflation rate eased slightly in June 2026, dropping to 15.91% from 15.93% in May. There's also some encouraging news from the energy sector. Nigeria recorded its highest crude oil production in 74 months, averaging 1.735 million barrels per day in June 2026. But beyond the economy, politics is already heating up. Ahead of the 2027 elections, opposition figures continue to question government policies. Concerns persist over Nigeria's large population of out-of-school children, and INEC recently extended candidate registration deadlines following logistical challenges. So, how should Nigerians assess the state of the nation? Are the reforms working, or are the challenges still outweighing the gains? To discuss these issues and much more, I'm being joined by one man who seems to have been quiet for a long time. You may not have seen him or heard him in the political sphere for a long time, but it's live for us on the Macon podcast. And he is Senator Musiliu Obanikoro, is a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, APC, a former minister and a former Nigerian High Commissioner to Ghana. Senator Obanikoro, such a pleasure having you on the Macon podcast.
Nice to be with you, Shane.
Thank you so much
and
indeed.
let me congratulate you on this podcast.
Thank you so much indeed. Appreciate it. It's been quite a while. You've been quiet. Why? What has happened to you?
Well, it's been deliberate. And we are also getting to the level of elder statesman now. Elder statesmen don't talk every day. You pick your words, you pick the time, and when. I think that's one of the benefits of being an elder statesman. So we don't talk that often. So when we lend our voice or our opinion on issues, they are supposed to be respected. But when you talk, when you become, there is this simple logic in economy. Whatever is scarce attracts higher value. So if you talk less, then people want to hear you speak. If you talk every day, then you might become a nuisance, or they see you as being too common in the public space, and whatever you say becomes almost meaningless. So we decided to be quiet and weigh in on issues as at when necessary, and when it is very, very important to do so.
I mean, you're a man who have been there, been in the military, senator, diplomat, minister. You've had a very strong fight of wanting to become Lagos governor, but that has never happened. But that is off the table now, right?
No, it is completely off the table.
Never again.
I'm 66, and at this age, we want to reflect more and do things that will probably help the coming generation. And let me say this, particularly in Nigeria, there is need for people like us to mentor the coming generation. The family structure has more or less collapsed. Our value system is in reverse gear. And when you review all that, the best people like us can do is to mentor more let the coming generation, let them be calm and be patient. Whether we like it or not, they stand to inherit Nigeria. And it is important to let them know that it is better for you to protect and preserve what you are going to inherit rather than be in a hurry to make it difficult to work for everybody. So, I guess that's just why we are calmer and
not because you have a good settlement. You have your children who are politically settled, politically speaking, and then those who will say, oh, under the Tinubu political machinery, Obanikoro is being settled too, and maybe that's the reason. So there's no qualms.
No. There is no settlement that can make us go quiet. No. We can only be quiet because the need to speak is not there. Whenever there is need to speak, we will definitely talk. And that is why when you called me today, I didn't hesitate. I didn't say, oh, Seun, wait till the next month, or Seun, let me call you when I'm ready. I said, you can come.
Yeah.
And here you are.
Yeah. You 22,000.
And of course, too.
Yeah.
Platform is also very key. You must also select your platform. You have a very powerful platform that any serious-minded person will want to use to reach out to people.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. 2007, I actively covered the governorship election in Lagos. And there's something, your name, Obanikoro, you were popularly called Koro, and the other thing that followed it was Igbo. So when they say Igbo, they say Koro, Kosi Koro, Kosi Igbo. You gave Bola Tinubu and his political machinery a run for their money. You were a force. You were in the PDP. And it was Koro Igbo meant Obanikoro votes. I mean, literally, people thought that you are synonymous to vote at the ballot. And you had a force, you had a lot of very strong following. You gave your man who is now your principal, your leader now, you gave him a run for his money.
Well, politics can be very interesting. The 2007 was an election that I gave it all. And, Ashwaju is a master of the game. And he's always ahead of his competitors. There must be something probably that I didn't learn from him, or something that I forgot among the things that I learned from him, that I didn't roll that dice at that time. And at the end of the day, I had to suffer for either not remembering or just completely overwhelmed with the issues that we had to contend with at that time. But it's all for good. As they say, the rest is now history. So, but we thank God we are still here.
There are those who thought that, your supporters thought that you won that election.
Well, I also believe that we won that election. But, Nigeria, it is what it is.
But, I mean, you were not the only one who was of the Tinubu extraction politically that fell out at that time. The likes of Ambassador Pedro were also those who had issues and
Arolambo, Jimmy Agbaje,
a lot, quite at least a long
Late
list.
Professor Lawal,
yeah,
quite a number.
But I mean, is there something you being defeated by the Bola Tinubu School of Politics in 2007? Did you regret running against the Bola Tinubu political camp?
Not really.
But you were made by the Bola Tinubu political structure, right?
Absolutely.
But you ran against the Bola Tinubu structure.
Absolutely.
But did you regret that?
Running against the structure? Not really. Because you see, as a young man, you want to conquer the world. I was 47. At that moment, all I wanted to do was to achieve what I've set my mind to achieve. I was not even thinking about whether I was fighting against within my own family in terms of the Bola Tinubu political structure. I just felt that I wanted to be governor of Lagos State because I believe at that time I was full of so many things on my mind that I felt were possible, and I would make the life of an average Lagosian better. So that was more a focus for me than thinking about the structure that I was running against. And sometimes the kind of depth that goes into your thinking today wasn't there then. No, as a young man, you believe you make mistakes. You still have many years ahead of you to correct them.
Was it a mistake running
but now,
in 2020?
no, as I've said, I didn't see it as a mistake. I saw it as someone who wanted to offer something to the good people of Lagos.
You thought you could beat the Bola Tinubu school of politics at the time?
To be honest with you, I was not running against my boss. I, as an individual, set a goal for myself, and I went out of my way to put in everything to achieve it.
It
was not really running against
in your
Oga.
own view at the time.
I didn't run against Oga.
Okay.
I was just running my own thing to get to where I wanted to go in life.
But there are a few things that you thought at the time. For example, you said, quote, Lagos does not need a toy governor. And you were, do you remember what you said?
You see?
You were making reference to Fashola at the time because you thought that Bola Tinubu was still running Lagos using Fashola as a proxy.
No, you see, let me tell you. Baba Tunde Raji Fashola is my brother. Any way you want to skin it, he's my brother. And we are both from Musiliu. And, he was never a politician until that moment when it was thrust on him. He was never a politician. So I felt that having served as a local government chairman, having served Oga as commissioner, and having served in the Senate, I felt that I have more political maturity, exposure, and experience to govern at that time. Don't forget, that was the first time that he was going to come out to run anything as far as government is concerned. He was chief of staff to Oga. So he was serving under Oga. And that was the first time. So I felt that having served as a local government, the premier local government in Nigeria, and at the point I was serving, in terms of internally generated revenue, probably the strongest in terms of revenue in Nigeria. So I felt it was more or less like running a state at that point in time, because there were states that were not generating as much revenue as we were generating in Lagos Island at that time. So I felt that having served that and having worked under Asiwaju for 4 years, I felt that I've learned all that I needed to learn when it comes to running a state. So that's why I dived into the...
But Senator Obanikoro, you consistently at the time maintained that the election was not simply about Fashola or against Fashola, but against Tinubu's political structure. And these are some of the things you said at the time. You said Lagos was becoming, quote, one-man controlled. You maintained that Tinubu was attempting to perpetuate himself in office through succession. You also said Lagosians deserved, quote, independent leadership rather than remote control government. You believed that you had what it takes because a lot of the voters and your supporters, they said you were synonymous to vote. They were calling you votes, Obanikoro vote, or Igbo. That was what you were being called.
Let me tell you one thing.
Did you overestimate yourself?
Well, no, I didn't. And let me tell you why. If you have the privilege of working with Asiwaju closely, the way I worked with him, and you understand him, and you studied him, and you ensured that you learned something from him, you will also believe that you can conquer the world. Because that is the kind of here that you see around Oga. Asiwaju does things with precision. In fact, he is an overthinker when he's pursuing anything. He puts the projects ahead of him on the table and dissect it in so many ways that whoever the opposition is way ahead of you, any angle you want to take. So, having worked with him for 6 years from a very close quarter, I thought I've learned a lot and sufficiently to be able to be my own man. But in the course of that, he taught me another lesson. That when you are in school learning from the best, they don't usually put everything on the table for you to see. There are some they keep to themselves in case they need to pull that out to let you know that I'm still your boss.
So Bola Tinubu showed you that he's your boss.
Exactly.
In that election. And you accepted.
Of course.
And that's why you returned back to the fold.
Absolutely. There is a saying in Yoruba land that Omode o le lakisa titi ko ni ju babe lo. It's not talking about this in the true sense of it, but what they are saying is that no matter how clever you are, those who are older will always find a way to put you in your place when there is need for it.
So Tinubu is your master?
Absolutely.
He taught you politics?
He's a master in the game.
Up to now?
Yes.
But why do some Nigerians think that is a failure in governance?
I don't think they are right, and they
even
cannot
with,
be right.
With the kind of effect the policies of his government is having on the average person.
No, you see, let me tell you, I'm an exercise freak, and when my coach comes in, what we always say to ourselves is that no pain, no gain. You see, as a country, we've had so many challenges in terms of our development. And I can recall that there was a time that almost every Nigerian were shouting that subsidy on fuel should be removed because only less than 1% of our population were benefiting from it. And at some point during the Buhari era, it runs into almost $1 trillion in terms of subsidy that government is being paid. So Nigerians were fed up with it, that something else can be done if this is stopped. It was a heavy bleeding. And if not stopped, would have ended Nigeria. And he came in and took that bold decision. Definitely something that has gone on for years, from the military era till 2023. There is bound to be pain taking it off the table, particularly at a time when our revenue generation plummeted, when the price of oil fell too at some point, and he came in. I think when he came in, I think our foreign reserve at that point was about 20-something billion. I think so. That was also going down. And everything was almost collapsing. And you can't sit down and just watch the entire country collapse on your head. Something needed to be done. They had to rush the baby to the emergency room and try to salvage the situation. And I believe that is precisely what Asiwaju did.
Still to come on the Mic On Podcast.
If not for the intervention of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, probably most of our infrastructure in Lagos will have collapsed.
What did you do?
Mic On Podcast on Instagram at the Mic On Podcast. Follow Mic On Podcast on Facebook at the Mic On Podcast.
Good news for eligible Nigerian citizens. The ongoing continuous voter registration exercise has been extended to Sunday, the 26th of July, 2026, giving you more time to register.
The easiest part, starting from Wednesday,
8th July, you can start and complete your registration online using your phones, tablets, or smart devices.
Your fingerprint and photograph can now be captured online. Just visit cvr.inecnigeria.org to register.
Remember, the physical registration option is still available at all INEC states, local government offices, and designated centers.
No more excuses. Don't wait till the last minute. Register today.
This message is brought to you by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, making your vote count, consolidating our democracy.
Thank you for joining us on this edition of Mike On Podcast. This podcast will return soon. Make it a date with Seun Okinbaloye on Mike On Podcast every Saturday at 7 p.m. as he x-rays issues beyond the regular and dives deeper to depths that allow him bring you answers to questions on your mind. In this podcast room, everything points to accountability, and you are the boss. No one understands how to hold public figures to account like Seun Okinbaloye. Catch Mike On Podcast live this Saturday at 7 p.m. on YouTube, Instagram, and X.
But I mean, do you think he's saving the baby right now, or the baby is dying in his hands?
No, it's not going to die. What is?
But the pains that the people are going through right now.
Let me tell you, Ashwaju came
there are
into
more
government.
poor people.
Wait,
under this government.
Ashwaju came into government 3 years ago. 3 years ago. The kind of change that we were looking for when he came in couldn't have been achieved in 3 years. But the groundwork can be laid so that we get to that level. And I think that is where we are. This is a journey. We are not at the end of the journey yet.
So Ashwaju needs another 4 years to complete. Is that what you're saying?
Well, even after Ashwaju, you see, nation building is not a small task. Even our own individual lives, if you look at constructing it, you can't construct a successful life in just 4 years. Because at every turn of your life, when you finish primary school, you go to secondary school, it's a different challenge. From secondary school to university, it's a different challenge. After university, you start working, it's a different challenge. There will always be a turn and twist. And you have to adjust your life accordingly. What Ashwaju has done is to tweak our misfortune to a fortune. And how do I mean? Today, by the grace of God, the kind of revenue that is going to the local government and the states are unprecedented in the history of Nigeria.
But the Nigerian people say they are not feeling it.
Because
yes, the
you
state are
cannot
getting the
blame,
money, but then they're not feeling it.
Ashwaju has done a lot to give us a sound macroeconomic system. But then the micro, to a reasonable extent, also depends on the governors and the local government.
And
the federal government
and the APC is controlling 31 of those
federal
states.
Government
Is it a failure of your party then?
It's not a failure of the party.
Because your party controls
at the takeoff
3/4.
At the takeoff of this tenure, we were not controlling that. Some of them came last year. So the failure before people joined us, you can't heap that one on us. But now that they have joined,
you want to take the benefit, but you don't want to take the liability.
Well, I'm not even talking about their benefit. So I'm not taking any benefit from what they have done. All I'm saying is that they have joined a team that is desirous of bringing a better Nigeria. And I'm sure they are on board now. And we have to judge them by everything they have done since they came to APC.
Senator, what do you say to Nigerians who Ashwaju convinced in becoming president, and now they're saying they have not reaped the benefit of the promises he made, and his failure at the post not imminent? Because how do you promote a child who failed a class? How do you?
Seun, you are making a mistake. And let me quickly correct you. Asiwaju has not failed, and it's not a failure.
But there are more poor people in Nigeria. It promised prosperity, but there is more poverty in the land.
The prosperity
is that not failure?
Is partially here, and more of it will come. As you and I speak today, we have a foreign reserve of over 50 billion. That's progress. As we are seated here today, for the first time in the history of Nigeria, the students in our tertiary institutions are getting loans to fund their education. When you give knowledge, you cannot determine the level of success and development that will emanate from that. Knowledge is everything. And what that has done, I can recall when I left the shores of Nigeria in 1981, January, to be precise, for education in America. When I got there in 1981, I didn't have any money. The only money I had on me was my 1 year school fees, which couldn't feed me, but can only pay my school fees. I needed funds to sustain myself. Beside working, the next thing that I went to was to collect student loan. It was the student loan that I used to complete my bachelor's degree and my master's degree. For the first time in the history of our country, Asiwaju has offered Nigerians that. Let me tell you, Seun, you cannot quantify the benefit of that. You may not see the yield immediately, but those students who are benefiting today, who hitherto will have been out of school and have been saved through this student loan, they will tell that story in another 4, 5, 6, 10 years. Those are the children who will control the future of Nigeria tomorrow. And what majority of them, just as I'm telling you today that without American student loan, I probably wouldn't have completed my education. Quite a number of them who would then have been a doctor, nurses, economists, bankers, governors, and what have you, will sit back and tell Nigerians that thanks to Asiwaju, I wouldn't have been educated, not to talk of getting to this kind of situation in life. So, we must be patient with Asiwaju. And let me tell you,
how much patience?
It takes a lot of God to do projects that are gigantic in nature, that doesn't come ordinarily. Since the creation of Nigeria, no president has taken on a very serious and gigantic project like the coastal road, like Sokoto to Lagos road.
The coastal road is bedeviled by a lot of controversy because the accusation is that
let me tell you,
with
nothing
cronies,
good. Nothing good comes easy. What is important is what is going to come with it as a benefit. Let me tell you, today, the number of houses demolished to create that corridor are not as much as the number of houses left there. It's not even 10% of the houses left there. Today, in that corridor, those whose houses are still standing, the value of their properties has quadrupled. That is benefit to them immediately. The economic benefit that, you see, if you measure society by what individual gets out of it, then you will be missing it. If you measure society by what the larger society gets out of it, then you'll be on point. We pay too much attention to individuals. I sympathize with those who have lost their hard-earned income, because I would feel bad if I were to be one of them. But the interest of the larger society is more important than individuals.
Senator, quickly, let me ask you this. And you are a politician. You're a grassroots politician, and you are embedded in the heart of Bola Tinubu's political system. What would you be? Don't forget, Senator, that Bola Tinubu APC lost election in 2023 in your Lagos, and you are a Lagosian. How do you convince? What do you say to people? You have said Nigerians should be patient. What kind of patience preaching would you tell them that can help you win the election?
Let me tell you, we're in Lagos here. If not for the intervention of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, probably most of our infrastructure in Lagos will have collapsed.
What did you do?
Look at the Third Mainland Bridge, the rehabilitation that he has done on it. It's world class. You cannot deny that, Shehu. It's world class. We have never seen that done before in this country. That kind of road that he has done. Now you move from there, you go to Eco Bridge. Look at the rehabilitation that they have done there. If not, that bridge will have collapsed. Go to Ido now. They are completely reconstructing the link bridge there to the mainland. If not for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that wouldn't have been possible. And if you look at the revolution that Umahi has caused in road construction in Nigeria, you cannot but submit that these are serious-minded people who wants to leave a legacy of strong road network and road construction. They are no longer just asphalting the roads. They are building concrete roads that will last and stand the test of time.
But you know, you've heard people saying, "Shetiti la Jenny," and the fact, literally meaning, are we going to eat roads and construction? Because when people cannot feed,
they are doing a lot.
When people, the money in their pocket cannot even take them anywhere.
Sure.
I'm saying poverty in the land.
Sure.
What do you tell the average person when you go to the poll to campaign for Bola Tinubu?
What I am going to tell them is very simple. 3 years of governance is not sufficient for the president to carry you to the promised land. The most important thing you can teach anybody today, there is always a saying among political class that teach me how to fish, not how to eat fish. By giving knowledge, you have given everything. And you know it as a Yoruba man. Our parents are always quick to say that I have given you education so that you don't suffer in life. Don't come to me for anything again. And I pride myself in not what my children are going to inherit from me, in the quality of education that I gave them. Because I know that with that education, they can become anything. My father died when he was 57 years old. I was in secondary school when my father passed away. I was raised by a mother who did not go to school, but valued education. And she ensured that the pennies and shillings that she was able to put together through petty trading went towards my education. And where is my mother today? She's late. Where's my father? They are gone. But by the grace of God today, I am somebody. I think if that is the kind of legacy that Asiwaju is trying to leave behind. And I just told you, sit down today and look at the number of students who have benefited from the hundreds of billions of student loan to go to school and finish their education. Shehu, you can never place a price on that.
Let me take you to one very critical area, which is security. And you served as Minister of State for Defense from 2014 to 2015.
Correct.
Incidentally, that period coincided with heightened scrutiny over the activities of military. How much was spent there? Nigeria faced one of the darkest moments in its security history, with Boko Haram controlling territories in the northeast. If you look back today, Senator Obanikoro, what do you believe the military got fundamentally wrong before your arrival, and when there were those who think that politics was a major problem of security in Nigeria at the time? Do you agree?
Sure. Sometimes when we talk and we listen to ourselves, most of us we don't listen to ourselves. But when you listen to yourself, now that you are even asking me this question, you are sounding as if you are not in Nigeria. And let me say this, all these military young men that we have, are they not Nigerians? We have a society that the value system has collapsed. We have a society that the level of indiscipline that has permeated our country is unbelievable. All these lapses that you are seeing in the military is a reflection of Nigeria. All these guys are not from the sky. They are citizens of this country. And all the tendencies that exist in their communities are what you have seen in them. But one thing you have to give to the military, they remain, despite the collapse of everything, they remain the most disciplined institution in Nigeria, despite. But the standard has also fallen compared to what we used to have. And I want to tell you, by the time we left in 2015, all the territories that were under Boko Haram were already liberated. Don't forget, at that time, we had some of these mercenaries. We collaborated with them. Nigerian government
Jonathan brought in mercenaries at the time, yeah.
And by the time he was leaving office, we had liberated all those places.
Because of the election. Majorly
not only because of the election. They were supposed to continue. Buhari came in and terminated.
Did you think that was a wrong move?
It was a major wrong move.
So we should have kept the mercenaries.
You should have. And let me tell you, even America, all these wars that you hear that America is fighting, they are using mercenaries too. You think they are? Because Americans won't allow Americans to be killed like rams. By the time they have 100 of them killed, you will see the whole of America coming down on Trump. They won't. They also use mercenaries. They don't talk about it, but that's the truth.
Do you think
most of the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, and they were using their mercenaries to fight them?
Are you saying that President Tinubu should employ mercenaries?
Well, my own conviction that if we do, these menace will end faster than what we have now.
Look at it. Your tenure came during a period when the government's handling of insecurity was under intense domestic and international criticism, particularly after the Chibok schoolgirls' abduction. With the benefit of hindsight, did the Jonathan administration, which you serve under, underestimated the importance of transparent communication with Nigerians about the war against Boko Haram?
You see, let me tell you, that incident shook the whole nation. President Goodluck was devastated. He couldn't believe that could happen in Nigeria. And to be honest with you, I don't want to go into the details of what transpired that time. I don't want to go into the details. But at some point, if I'm still alive by the grace of God, we will talk about it.
Do you think that the government should have communicated better?
Yes, I mean, you can always improve on communication, no doubt about that.
Did you underestimate the value of communication?
I told you that incident shook the nation.
But it was said that the Jonathan administration at some point, in the initials, they never even believed it happened because they thought it was a political...
That incident shook the nation. And the president was also shocked that such a thing could happen.
So he couldn't believe at
In
first.
Nigeria. Well, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that I do not, in good conscience, want to go into what transpired there. If I go into what transpired there, Seun, you'll be sorry for Nigeria. So just let's move
So the
on.
Chibok incident was a watershed.
Let's move on. The issues that surrounded it, those issues that we cannot talk about, they are better.
But don't you think
Left
that
unspoken about.
we can learn from it as
We
a
will,
people?
at the point that I feel is necessary, I will talk about it
It was politicized.
to some extent.
And that affected the whole scenario.
To some extent.
What lesson would you say that this government can take away from the Chibok experience? You were right in the middle
Well,
of it.
I think they've learned a lot from it. They've learned a lot from that. And that is why you saw how the Ibadan saga was concluded. And also, just recently, the Kogi too was concluded. So a lot has been learned. And I believe they are drawing strength from those lessons.
What was your biggest regret when you were Minister of State for Defense?
My biggest regret was that Nigerians, at some point, we were not together to fight common enemy, which were the terrorists. I felt the country should have, particularly at the time those girls were abducted, that every one of us should have come together on the same page to fight them. But we never did.
If there was one thing that you could do with the benefit of hindsight right now about the Chibok situation, what would you have done?
A lot. But I don't, you see, Seun, I know you are a journalist. The more I try to put that incident behind me, the more you want. You see, if I open my mouth, it will, it won't be good. It won't be good. It will open a lot of,
There's a lot of can of worms.
And let's bury it for now. For now.
You boldly came back from Ghana to face the scrutiny by the EFCC.
Yes.
Did you learn your lesson?
Well, you see, let me tell you, it's one of the problems that we have in this country. Those we are supposed to celebrate, we turn them into criminals. If you recall, in 2014, thereabout, there was a bomb blast in Apapa, if you recall. But we played it down as if it was not. It was a terrorist bomb blast.
In Apapa?
Yes. But we played it down so that we do not cause a panic in the system. For God's sake, this is the economic capital of Nigeria. Imagine if terrorists can just come here and detonate a bomb in the middle of our commercial capital. That will ruin our economy. So, and we managed it in such a manner that it never occurred again. If I tell you the number of terrorist cells that we evacuated in Lagos here, you won't believe it.
When you were minister?
At that time, yes.
So terrorists had invaded Lagos at the time?
All those Badia, Apapa area, there were so many cells. And we needed funds to do that. And those were some of the funds that the NSA released that we used effectively, tapping on my knowledge of Lagos and my closeness to the boys on the street. You see, let me tell you, one of the things that are lacking today, and why you can have terrorists go into a school and pick children, and for days we can't locate them, is because we are not an average Nigerian who knows about what is happening refuse to talk. And if the people don't, the government is not an unseen hands. They depend on every one of us. Government is about us. Our government is as efficient as the kind of support we are readily available to offer. If we are not ready to help our government, it will appear as if our government is not efficient.
But some of the funds that were being talked about were some of those that were linked to you being used to prosecute elections in Ekiti and the rest.
Because, let me tell you, because they refuse to see reason and they have to link everything to that.
Did you take security resources for election in Ekiti?
I wrote it down that all these funds you are talking about were used to save Lagos.
And you didn't use any for Ekiti election?
I don't know what Ekiti election, court has already ruled on that. That it was funds raised for Fayoshe's election that were used for Ekiti election. That was the ruling of the court. So are you trying to relitigate that?
No, the point I'm making
is that the court ruled.
The scrutiny
that has saved me.
Yeah.
From all these accusations. No, the court ruled.
Yeah. So the scrutiny about defense spending when you were in office came to limelight. That security money went into political spending.
Let me tell you, that is what was explained to you. And the matter was heavily litigated. And the court ruled that the money spent in Ekiti were funds raised for the purpose of that election.
If there were monies that you spent at that time that you shouldn't have spent, did you regret it?
There was no money that I spent. See, let me tell you, we were very judicious in everything that we did.
But it came out that the Sukis were doling out money under that government.
Let me tell you,
indiscriminately.
Don't, Seun, be careful with what you say without interrogating them. We have the tendency to persecute those who share opposing views for political gains. Let us be careful. You cannot, or that issue that you are even talking about, some of them are still in the court of law. In my own case, I'm happy. Fayoshe's matter has been resolved by the court in his favor. So let us wait for the other cases to finish before we pass judgment.
So you don't have any regrets?
There's nothing to regret. What is there to regret?
Jonathan is someone you know, at least a bit of him you know. Do you think if he's on the ballot, it's going to be a threat to your principal, Bola Tinubu?
Let me tell you, I don't even believe that President Jonathan will contest this election. But let me say that you underestimate Asiwaju at your own peril.
Really?
Asiwaju is in a class of his own when it comes to politics. I have not seen, among all these people who are running from...
But Peter Obi demystified him in 2023 by defeating him in Lagos.
No, it wasn't Peter Obi that defeated him. It wasn't.
But Peter Obi won Lagos.
Yes, because let me tell you, what defeated us in Lagos was the Muslim ticket, not Peter Obi. Peter Obi.
You still have the Muslim ticket right now.
But now people were afraid because then they didn't know what Asiwaju's presidency will look like. They thought it was a situation where the Christians in Nigeria will be relegated. And that has been defeated because Asiwaju is a Muslim, but he is not a religious bigot that will carry one religion over another. His wife is a pastor. His son, Sheyi, is a Christian. That has not stopped. Sheyi was born a Muslim. He became a Christian. Asiwaju did not fight it. He's still a Christian today. He has other children who are also Muslim. Shade is a Muslim. Yinka is a Muslim. And that has not affected his family. If you see Sheyi and Yinka, you know that these are blood brothers who have all the respects and love for one another. You have the girls too. You understand?
Do you think Nigerians will still buy the Muslim ticket this time
I
around?
think Nigerians have seen that there is no harm in a Muslim ticket, that it has no effect on them in any shape or form. If you look at this government, those who are even occupying the most strategic positions are Christians. Oyedele is a Christian. Before him, Wale Edu, a Christian. Cardoso is a Catholic. Name it. All the major key positions. The chairman of FIRS is a Christian. And name it. You can look around. They are all. We have how many ministers in Lagos here? We have Alausa. We have Dr. Oduwole. Dr. Oduwole is a Christian. So, Asiwaju, you see, if you need to walk and be close to Asiwaju to know that religion cannot be the basis upon which he will manage the affairs of state. But at that point, the naysayers were playing on that to affect his political fortune. But that one is no longer on the table. And at that time, you had the Christian Association of Nigeria as a body endorsing Peter Obi. Mark my word, that will not happen now. Because they have seen that Asiwaju is not anti-Christ in any shape or form.
So you think that Peter Obi or Atiku will not be able to have any inroad in Lagos this time around?
Well, they will have their own votes, but they cannot win this time around.
Really?
And don't forget that
what gives you the confidence?
We just registered 1 million members in Lagos for APC. Let us take an average that, okay, we'll go to the polls and we will go with additional 1-1. Each person will take one person to the poll. That's 2 million votes. Averagely.
So you think Bola Tinubu may not be able to lose Lagos this time around?
We are not losing. We are winning. We're going to coast home this time around. Go and watch. You observe. Watch. Just follow us. You will see. We're going to win this one. We are taking it home.
In Lagos or generally?
Generally and in Lagos.
If you look at what is happening,
already we have 10 million registered members. Tell me how many party in this system today that can even boast of half of that. I think the nearest to us was this ADC that registered 4.5 million, something like that, or 2.something million. We registered 10 million members.
Still to come on the Mike On podcast.
So you think Bola Tinubu may not be able to lose Lagos this time around?
We are not losing. We are winning. We're going to coast home this time around. Go and watch. You observe. Watch. Just follow us. You will see. We're going to win this one. We are taking it home.
In Lagos or generally?
Generally and in Lagos.
Mike On Podcast on Instagram at the Mike On Podcast. Follow Mike On Podcast on Facebook at the Mike On Podcast.
Hello, Nigeria. You asked for it. Now you have it. The ongoing nationwide continuous voter registration exercise has been extended to Sunday, 26th of July, 2026.
It gets better. From Wednesday, the 8th of July, you can now start and finish your registration using your smart devices from wherever you are. Simply visit cvr.inecnigeria.org to complete the process, including your biometrics.
No more queue, no unnecessary travel, just a simple, secure, and convenient registration process.
Remember, the physical registration option is still available at all INEC states, local government offices, and designated centers.
Your power to vote just got stronger. Register now.
This message is brought to you by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, making your vote count, consolidating our democracy.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma,
Yes?
have you completed your voter registration process?
No. With my workload, when do I have the time to drive and queue just to have my biometrics captured?
But you haven't heard
That what?
that from Wednesday, the 8th of July, you can now complete your registration process on your phone without having to visit any INEC office. No more queues, no unnecessary travel, just a simple, secure, and convenient registration process. Remember, The physical registration option is still available at all INEC state, local government offices, and designated centers. Your vote can make your future better. Register now.
This message is brought to you by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, making your vote count, consolidating our democracy.
Thank you for joining us on this edition of Mike On Podcast. This podcast will return soon. Make it a date with Seun Okinbaloye on Mike On Podcast every Saturday at 7 p.m. as he x-rays issues beyond the regular and dives deeper to depths that allow him bring you answers to questions on your mind. In this podcast room, everything points to accountability, and you are the boss. No one understands how to hold public figures to account like Seun Okinbaloye. Catch Mike On Podcast live this Saturday at 7 p.m. on YouTube, Instagram, and X.
Let's take a look at the present situation of things and those who are going to be on the ballot. Donald Duke, Adewale Adebayo, Bola Tinubu, Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi. This election, there are those who believe that it's going to be intensely contested. Yes. And you, I mean, as a politician, and if Goodluck Jonathan is also on the ballot, it makes it even worse. It's going to divide Nigerians along regional political lines. If Asiwaju loses this election, what would you say?
One, let me tell you, Seun, I don't know the poll or the projections that you are looking at. As a politician of over 30 years standing, I can tell you for free that we are going to win this election. And the indices are staring you in the face, but you may refuse to look at it. You just said that about 30-something governors are with us. Whether you like it or not, whether the governors are popular or not, certain amount of votes are going to come from being incumbent in all these states, whether you like it or not. And on top of that, we'll build a network of support, which we have done, that will be almost insurmountable. One of them is the registration that we just completed. Every member of our party will not fold their hands and allow the party to go down in defeat. They won't, because they know the implication of that. And if just the 10 million will show up on election day to exercise their franchise, that's a victory on its own. Not to talk of friends, associates.
So, but you know, election can go either way. Either you win or you lose. And I'm asking, if Bola Tinubu loses, what would you say?
Let me tell you, there is a saying in English. They say, as you lay your bed, so shall you sleep on it. We have laid our bed in a manner that has made failure mathematically impossible.
For Bola Tinubu?
Yes, please.
Let me bring you to Lagos politics. You are a GAC member.
Yes.
That is the
Governance Advisory
Council of to the governor and to the party structure in Lagos. How did you get yourself into it?
Well, you know, Asiwaju, being who he is, always attract the best to himself. So, if you are one of the finest around him, he will ensure that you are given a rightful place to showcase your skills and ensure full participation at all levels. So I guess that is what you see at play here.
So it was Asiwaju that drafted you into GSC?
Well, you earn it. Asiwaju will test you, and if you pass, definitely it will speak for you within the circle to ensure you will put the issue before the team. That this is my thinking.
And you are being drafted and announced as the DG of the Obafemi Hamzat and the APC campaign in Lagos.
Yes.
Why? How?
Shehu, I'm surprised that you're asking me why, how. I'm a political veteran. And a state like Lagos is very important to our party. And you need the kind of experience that we have acquired over the years to surmount the challenges that we are going to confront in this coming election. So I don't know why you are surprised about that. Well, I guess we are not finished.
So it does mean that there's an agenda for making you the DG.
Well, I don't know why you are interpreting it to mean an agenda.
Yeah, I mean,
All
your capacity.
If you look at capacity, if you look at experience, and you have an important election staring you in the face, I think you want the best hand to manage that election for you.
And you are ready for the fight.
To God be the glory.
Are you afraid of Gbadebo?
How can you make me laugh? Me, that you know politically. How can I be afraid of Gbadebo? How?
You saw what happened in the last election.
APC won the governorship election.
He alleged that there was brigandage, rigging, manipulation of the process.
Let me tell you, up to tomorrow, President Trump is still litigating election that he lost to Joe Biden. If you have a sore loser, they will say anything to justify their loss.
Is Lagos a no man's land?
How can that be? I'm an indigenous Lagosian. It's insulting for anybody to say Lagos is a no man's land. We have people who are indigenous to this state.
It means that,
and we have to respect that.
Anybody can thrive in Lagos. Anybody,
that's the beauty
an
of
Igbo
Lagos.
man, an Hausa man can be anything in Lagos.
And that is why our population has gone up tremendously. Because everybody is coming from everywhere, from the east. There was a time when we were growing up that our population ballooned to the point that we had to introduce odd and even number. Because it was difficult for traffic movement in Lagos. So Lagos, we the indigenous people, we've been so receptive of non-indigenous people from the beginning of time.
Are you worried about the non-indigenous people who are now majority in Lagos?
They've always been majority. The non-indigenous people have always been the majority.
Are you worried?
I'm not.
That they might determine the direction of this election?
No, let me tell you. Let me take you back memory lane. There was a time when non-Lagos people governed City Hall in Lagos. Okoli was a councillor at some point in Lagos Island. There were other councillors who were from Ijebu and what have you. Our forebears, they embraced them. And that is why Lagos is the foremost state in Nigeria today, in terms of economic development, in terms of infrastructural development, in terms of anything you want to think of. Lagos is the center of excellence because we are very receptive. We are not afraid, but we don't want to be insulted either. Those who come with their insults that Lagos is a no man's land, why are they paying us to buy properties there? They pay us to buy land. Why didn't they just go on the land and go and build on it and say, this is a no man's land, I can't pay you to own this place? They are paying us.
You don't think that narrative has shaped elections in the past and is likely to shape it even more in 2027?
Which narrative?
The narrative of Lagos,
no man's land.
And anybody can take it. Lagos is for anyone's taking.
Well, all those who have taken it are from here. So tell me one person who has taken Lagos who is not from here. None.
Do you ever see a Lagos, a non-indigene governor of Lagos State?
I don't foresee it happening. You will have one leg of it yours, either your mom or your dad. One will be either through paternal or maternal. You know, we don't discriminate on that one. Whether it is maternal or paternal, it doesn't matter to us in Lagos. Maternal is as strong as paternal. And what you've had so far from the creation of Lagos State, we've had one, either maternal or paternal, running the affairs of our state. So that confirms that they are owners of the state.
So that's the reason why I'm asking the question that a lot of non-indigens of Lagos who reside, live and work in Lagos seems to be supporting Gbadebo rules Vival. Is that a problem?
How did you come to that conclusion?
Did you hear the narrative about the Igbos who are in their large numbers forming the fulcrum of the support base for Gbadebo rules Vival in 2023?
Of course.
Does that bother you?
No.
Without the Igbos, your party?
We have Igbos within us. And this time around, I believe that some of them didn't take it through. They didn't think it through. They just acted on impulse.
You think things will be different this time around?
I believe it will be different for so many reasons.
What would you do differently?
Let me tell you
as a DG?
Some of the things I've told some of my Igbo friends and brothers is that, look here, Igbo Lagosians are not the same as Igbo from the East. Those who are in Imo State, who have lived all their lives there, they are not the same as Igbos who are Lagosians. The interest of Igbos who are Lagosians is different from the interest of Igbos who are from the interland. You've lived there. You went to school here. God has blessed you here. Your interest is to see to the success of Lagos. Continue to be part of the success story of Lagos. You cannot canvass or work against the interest of Lagos establishment for reasons that you cannot explain, or because Obi is an Igbo man, is contesting for presidency. No, the Igbos in the Southeast, maybe they can play along with that kind of sentiment. I've told my Igbo friends in Lagos that that kind of sentiment should not appeal to them at all. Lagos has been kind to you. When you are in Rome, you do like Romans. And quite a number of them has accepted that. That is a common sense that shouldn't be taught to anybody.
On a final note, you seem to be mentoring your children in the political
Actually, he's one of them. The others are into business. I even have one that is an actress in Hollywood.
Oh, really?
Yes. So they are all in their own. I've encouraged them to live their dreams. I have a daughter who went to New York University, which is probably the finest university for theater arts in the world. That's where she graduated with honors. And she's there in Hollywood, hustling her life. And that's the way I've raised them, to be independent of me. They do their own things.
Jide Ibrahim
is the only politician in my family.
He looks like your twin brother.
Yeah, he is my twin brother.
He's had his fingers burnt also.
Well, let me tell you.
Trying it.
Life should be about failing and then come back and succeed. I will borrow a word from Chief Obafemi Awolowo when he said, I don't believe in never failing, but to rise after each fall. That is what makes me happy.
So,
And I believe in that principle.
so each time you see Jide, you're very happy that he's towing the political line.
I'm happy that he's towing the political line, and I'm happy that God has been kind to him to let him see both the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Ultimately, what is your biggest dream as a politician?
Well, now that I'm 66, I'm beginning to tone down my political engagement, other than trying to be a mentor to those who wants to be in politics and who are trying to be leaders tomorrow. I'm working behind the scene very hard to have a Nigeria that all of us can be proud of. To have a Nigeria that can be a shining example of what black people can do. A Nigeria where our religious and ethnic issues can be toned down to the point where they will become non-existent.
Yeah.
As I believe that the greatness of Nigeria lies in our oneness.
I'd like to conclude this conversation in this manner. If you had President Bola Tinubu's ears for a moment and behind closed doors, what is one uncomfortable truth about his administration that you believe he needs to hear, but that those around him may be unwilling to say to him?
Well, contrary to what you think, and what quite a number of Nigerians are made to believe. Seun, you'll be shocked that those boys on the street are still sending text messages to Asiwaju and he's still reading them. Asiwaju knows what we are going through. And I can bet you that he's working day and night to turn it around. Nigeria is a poor country as of today. But we are blessed in terms of resources. But quite a number of Nigerians who are not even in government, by the way, have squandered that riches, either in oil or in other minerals that we are blessed with.
Are you guilty of that too?
Well, I cannot be guilty because I'm not engaged in any of those things. I cannot be.
You were not corrupt when you were in office?
Never. Never.
You never took a dime?
From anything, from
when
anybody.
You were a minister?
No.
When you were
this is the house I've been living in since 2002. This same house. And I've not done any major refurbishment to it. And I have only one house in Abuja. So those are the two houses I have in Nigeria. Those are the two houses.
So Obanikoro is not corrupt?
I'm not, by any standard. By any standard, I am not. I'm not chasing money. I've never made it a policy or a goal that all I want is to chase money. No, I don't. I don't chase money. I don't.
But you love money?
I want to be comfortable. And God has been kind to me. Almost all my children are out of school now. So I'm not under any pressure. Even when I was under pressure, I never stole any money.
Senator,
and I ensured that all my children can speak Yoruba despite going to school overseas. They can speak and write it. I'm a proud father. And I'm now doing the same thing with my grandkids. That's why they are going to school abroad. You'll be shocked. They'll speak Yoruba to you and they can write Yoruba. Even my grandchildren. So I'm happy that I've impacted.
Senator Musiliu Obanikoro, I must say, speak the Yoruba, your name in the sound Yoruba texture that it is.
I'm a proud Yoruba man.
From Isaleko.
Correct.
Thank you so much.
I'm a proud Yoruba man from Musiliu.
Director General of the Lagos APC campaign organization and former senator, former minister, and a former ambassador to Ghana, representing Nigeria. Thank you so much indeed. It's a pleasure.
You, Seun.
Such a pleasure having you.
I wish you well.
Thank you so much,
You're
sir.
a great man.
Thank you so much. That's our conversation with Senator Musiliu Obanikoro. A lot to take out of that conversation. Either you agree with him or you disagree. One thing that is important is the interest of our nation. Are we moving forward or we are retrogressing? Any part of this conversation that you think is important, of course, you can share and also follow us. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching this episode of the Mic On Podcast. I'm Seun Okinbaloye. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us on this edition of Mic On Podcast with Seun Okinbaloye. Mic On Podcast for the independent mind.